Okay, this is a very exciting video testimony for me with my dear beloved client, Lorna Gale. And what we're talking about, Lorna, as you know, is your experience of taking the course, Unleash Your Intuition for Entrepreneurs Confidently. Use your intuition for a thriving business and life. So I'd like to start off with you. Tell the people about you, what you do, your contact information, and what your heartfelt mission is with your work.
Okay. Thank you, Sasha. And yeah, it's good to be here with you. So, Lorna Gale, and what I'm feeling called to do in the world and to be in the world is that of what I call a sex and spirit alchemist of the feminine led life. As a somatic sex educator and sexologist, for me, it's really been based on my own journey, but I get to have this opportunity to really support people in coming home to their own sexuality and to their own divinity. And um, lots of levels to that for various people. And what I'm also seeing is as we look at the world around us, that sometimes it's this sense of there's out there, there's the power, the authority, the permission, the partner out there. And yet, my work and my experiences are kind of like, no, it's time to really look back and come back home to ourselves. And not only in the human experience, but also as spiritual beings as well. So that's where the feminine led life comes in, is sometimes it's that the feminine is in leadership, not only in the home, sometimes it's in the bedroom, it's in the boardroom, and how women are coming into their place in leadership. But um, it's not about anybody being left behind. It's about really people being in their own place and coming into a harmonious relationship with one another, and then coming back into that wholeness within us of the feminine and masculine within us. So my work, my mission, what it feels really in the world is to really take all that we've experienced before and look in the mirror, which shows us the opposite, but now to come back into this place and have what is, as I say, the feminine led life, because I see the feminine is the spirit and the masculine is the form. And so to be able to really take what we've experienced and bring it back now and bring it back home into a lived experience.
Into a lived experience, is that what you said?
Mhm.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, you're beautiful. So, you just exude to me that level of beauty, and I can see how it would filter through your work as well. So thank you. Do you have a website address, an email address where people can be in touch with you?
Mhm. People can contact me by, I'm on Facebook, Lorna Gale. On Facebook, I have a private Facebook group for women called Reclaiming Eden. Not yet have my one where I'm bringing women and men together. That's coming very soon. By email, it's lorna@lornagale.com, and Gale is spelled Gale. So lorna@lornagale.com. And for people who want to get a sense of some testimonials of people who have worked with me, women, men, couples, they can go to the Trusted Bodywork site and just type in my name there, and my page will come up, and testimonials and a long list of some things that I offer, and see what piques their interest and kind of like, wow, I didn't think about that. And then that's can start a conversation for us about what does that. And there's a link there on that page where you can also connect through to me by setting up a conversation.
Okay. And the email address is lorna@lornagale.com.
That's right.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Okay. So let's dive into the course questions. What I'd love to know is, why do you feel or think that confidently using your intuition is important in your life?
Mm, great question. For me, really important in the sense of, from a thought perspective, that only takes me so far. So as I tune into what the intuitive part is, that energetic part of who I am, that it just really connects me with what I'm doing, the people I'm with, my situations, and my business to be able to not only the business when we look at the framework of the business, but also the work that I'm doing in the business, the transformational work that I'm providing with people. And I say with intentionally because I'm not providing it for them. I'm creating this time and we're in this together. And it really, over and over again, my intuition has really played a key role in something that's coming up and kind of like, oh, and it might be a question to ask that person, or whether I'm working in person or online, to invite them to pay attention to a certain part of their body, or to invite them to feel into a certain emotion that they maybe are feeling or somewhere in their body. So for me, intuitively, I operate that way, and it's been that way. And I would say, Sasha, it goes back to when I first started working with you 11 years ago, is that's when it just really started to be heightened and to really open up to that part of me, that way of me being in the world.
Mm-hmm. 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 Right. The next question is, in what ways were you struggling in using your intuition before taking the class? And what was the impact that taking the class had on those previous struggles?
For me, I would say sometimes it was that self-doubt, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that has
Right?
those pieces every once in a while. Um, so that self-doubt of, was that really, or was I thinking that? And for me, it's just being in the course has really helped to recognize, no, just lean into that. And as I had shared with you earlier, Sasha, that awareness that in this course, that kind of like, oh wow, there are many more ways that intuition can communicate with me, that it's revealed and expressed. And so that's kind of like, wow, oh yeah. So that's just really opened up my repertoire, if you will, of ability to, yeah, that I don't, when that doubt comes, it just kind of like, oh yeah, that's what it is. That's where it's coming from. So it's helped me to relax a lot more and to get more, I will say, more movement in my business, more a sense of the direction to be going. And yeah, there have been some huge ahas in our time of being in this course, some things that, okay, that's the direction to go, different than I had
Beautiful.
intentionally or originally thought.
Beautiful. Actually, that's where I'm going next with my question.
Mhm.
So the struggle before was moments of self-doubt, and now you feel what as a result of the course, would you say?
I would say more of that inner guidance, inner direction. And sometimes it can seem that intuition, like if I hear a voice, it can seem like, oh, it's coming from outside of me, but I know it's not. I know it's still that connection from within. So for me,
Beautiful.
yeah, and that's a big part of my work as well. And so why this has been so key is that sense of, we've been looking outside of ourselves, listening to what other people say about how we should be, what we should do, what we shouldn't do, all of those things. And so even that old self-doubt is, oh well, self-doubt according to who? And so as I'm listening more within, it's just kind of, okay. So again, it's that aspect of living, walking the talk, talking the walk. It's that's where I come from, and this is just really helping to enable me to deepen into my own experience, and that's where I lead from, is from my own experience.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and in supporting people in their inner 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 voice and guidance.
Yeah. Yes. So let's go then to the next question, which is, in terms of those ahas, what have been your beneficial results from taking the class? So some particular ahas, if you could articulate some of them.
Mhm. One of them was in my business, having this sense of, oh, this is what I should be doing. This is where I want to go. I want to get my program outgoing, and this is my date that I want to do it. And during the course of our course, I had this awareness of, oh no, this is something that has been, it keeps calling back to me, and in that uncertainty of what to do with it during our course, it became very clear that no, this is the thing to focus on right now. Once that's in place, now I can move and go in this direction. So
Okay.
that, and I remember in our buddy call with my buddy that it also, as I was sharing with her last week, is that when I set for our project in the course, okay, this is where I'm going, that it wasn't about being wrong. It was I needed to go in that direction to now have the sense of, okay, now it's time to make the turn and see something else. So it's not about, oh, I took the wrong step or I was going the wrong direction. No, I needed to go that direction so I could see what was the next direction to take.
Yes, exactly. 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 Wonderful. I'm so happy for you with that.
Thank
Can
you.
you think of any other beneficial results that came from the class?
Mm. The aspect of being in community, that again, it's there's the course itself, but there's the container of the course, and the benefit of being in community is powerful. I've been an advocate of learning and unlearning in community for a long time. So this is just really fits really well with that for me. And the way that we could hear different people in the group, sharing their wins, sharing their struggles, to be able to have that aspect of, wow, that's what I was thinking, or oh, I'm not the only one, or oh, I thought what I felt was too small to celebrate, but no, you're celebrating those small things. So it's really a way to really take off those old, what I call the shrouds of shame, and
Ah,
those all of those, the shroud of, oh, I shouldn't or I can't. It's just kind of like no. And so we really get to rise together, and I think that's one of the big pieces of the of doing it in community, is that we get to see that no, we're not the only ones that are going through this. We're not alone, and yes, we can. I can be seen as I am, and Sasha, that's one of the benefits as well of this course, and I've shared with you, and I share many times, is that you create such an incredible space for people to show up exactly as they are. Um, that you will, with your laser listening and focus and intuiting, to be able to support them and go right to the heart, and I to the center and the heart of what the issue is, and what that the support that the person is needing at that time. And it's just, yeah, I've experienced that, and that's one of the reasons why, 11 years later, right, it was when you approached me about the program, it was kind of like, oh yeah, I get to be with you again, because I know how you how you listen, how you operate, and why you're doing what you're doing, and that I know that you're here for me, for each one of us. And I just, yeah, that's a benefit, is being in that container that you create for people, and being able to connect with people, with other people, lots and lots of benefits of the course for itself. And
thank you.
I shared as well, one of the things is that the analogy that I had shared with you earlier is like what you do in this course. It's like this massive buffet table of all these different things, these different practices and skills to learn, and different trainings and different things to learn and to implement. And that you say, okay, here it is. And that it's not about, okay, now they're all gone. You missed it. It's kind of like, no, they're always there. I can always go back and practice it again and go back. And so you just, at first it seems like, oh, how am I going to learn all of this? And there's not that expectation to learn all of it and master all of it now. It's just, no, it's here for me to learn and use as I need it. And I think that's one of the things as well, is it's not just, okay, here's one tool, one thing that I get to have. It's, and oh, am I going to get it? Or how much am I going to get it? And what is it going to be applicable? But you offer so many different things, that there's some things that, oh yeah, this one really resonates with me. This one really feels that a strong tool. This one, interesting, not so much. I'm going to come back to here. I'm going to try that one. And so there's such a plethora, a richness of what you offer, and the generosity of what you share in this class. It's kind of like, wow, this is a lot of stuff. a lot of material, a lot of resources, and you're so very generous with your time and your support all the way along.
Mm, beautiful. Thank you. That's exactly what I want for people, is to have this palette of possibilities, and that, the structure of it is such that there's an archive library that everybody gets by the end of the course. And as long as they open that document, you know, they will be reminded of what they know now, and to cherry pick when to use what. So thank you for saying it so clearly. The next question is a little different, and that is, what really worked for you in the course? Like what was it that you found particularly useful? The structure, the buddies, me as a facilitator. If you go to like an overview and you look down on the course, what pops up at you as being particularly useful for you?
I will start with you um, in and just yeah the that that container that you create and hold, the space that you hold, has been, yeah, just really, really potent is the word that comes. And so for me, that's for sure that I like the week that we got to how you created it into two phases, where there was the weekly where we got to meet for those 6 weeks and just really created that community, got to create that momentum, that accountability, just staying with it. And then, okay, now you've got all of these tools, now go apply. And, and then in phase two is, okay, on a monthly basis, let's touch base again and see how everybody's doing, reconvene. And so that's been a great structure. I don't know that I've ever had a class that was that way before, and I really like it. The buddy system was really great in the sense that it has provided that um, a more of a connection one-on-one with somebody in the class, allowed us to support one another, mentor each other in our at wherever we are in our week and in our level of intuiting. For me, the way that you start celebrations, each class gets to start with our celebrations, and how did that apply? So you're really pulling out those very specific, okay, it's not just here's a nice happy story. It's kind of like, okay, and how did your intuition play a role in that? So it's just really helping to bring it to a very heightened awareness of that role that intuition played in that experience. So, and again, that's modeling for each of us to, oh yeah, I didn't think about that. So it's really been really great where people can learn from each other and all of that. Yeah, so for me it's just been just all overall just a really fabulous experience.
Mm, beautiful. Thank you.
Mhm.
Now, the next one is share at least one exciting win that occurred during the phase one, this first 6 week core curriculum section, that was just absolutely an intuition magical win.
Hmm. For me, there was a time where of reaching out to somebody where somebody came into my awareness, and it felt really important that I reach out to them. This was a client when I taught energy work 25 years ago, and he was a one of my students then, and we've kept touch, became friends, and have kept touch, periodically, 2 or 3 times a year over these years. And one time he just very much came to mind, and like just kind of like it was like his presence was here. And it was just intuitively, I just knew, okay, I need to reach out to him. So I sent him an email and just said, hey, you've been coming to mind and coming to heart, coming to my awareness, and just wanted to touch base, see how you're doing. And he said, yeah, I've got some things that are going on for me right now, some things I'm working through. I said, is there any way that I can support you? You know, is there anything in my physical environment that you need to be aware of, you know, energetically to shift something? Would any sessions help? And go, yeah, a session would help. And so it ended up that with it, I think it was that evening actually, my evening happened to be open, and it's not often open, but there was a space in there that worked out and aligned with his schedule. And so we had this session that was just profound for him, and he said that was just amazing.
Aw.
And then from there he said, I'm going to share it with a friend of mine because she's going through some things as well. So she's one that now we're going to be meeting in a couple of weeks. So
Mm.
so it was just really that intuitive way to really trust. You know, I could have put it off and said, oh, it's not a big deal, but it's just kind of like, no, it's coming to my awareness for a reason. I'm just really going to follow through on that.
Yes. Now that's what we call a grace-filled
Mm,
sales conversation. You know, absolutely intuitively led, grace-filled sales conversation. That's beautiful. And hopefully people who hear this interview will realize how sales conversations and reaching out to your ideal client can be just so beautiful, so magical like that. Wonderful. Okay, moving along, my love. Here we go. So, state in terms of your experiences, in addition to what you've already said, which I thank you for, as to why you would endorse people working with me. There are so many intuition teachers that are out there now, more and more, because we're needed. My gosh, we're needed. Why would you endorse me?
mm. From my experience of working with you 11 years ago, the work that we did together, and it was a group program, and I had my buddy, and that time, that actually truly set me on a path that has been my beacon all of these years since. I keep coming back to it, what we've done, and that vision that was set forth. I draw the documents and the my writings from those times. I frequently bring them up as reference to, okay, what's the next piece? So for me, you you only share what you know to be true, and you guide people to know their truth. And I have experienced over and over again the heart and the soul of you, your passion for people to be living from the depths of their soul. Um, that I know. So why to endorse you? Because I've experienced you. I've experienced working with you, and here I am. I'm back again because it was kind of okay. Yeah, here we go. And so I value I value you. I love and adore you, and I value the experiences that you create, the support that you provide, and the way that you see people, uh, yeah, down to the heart and soul of who they are, and are celebrating and want to be there in service to let them be all that they are, and in the work that they are bringing forth in the world.
Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. Hmm. And so the last question is similar, a little different, and that is, how, what person, what kind of individual would be a great, let me rephrase it, what would, yes, you would endorse the course, quite obviously. So what would be going on in that person's life, either as an entrepreneur, since this course is for entrepreneurs, and or their personal life, where you would absolutely recommend this course? You would see this course as a solution for them.
Certainly for people, I would recommend. Yeah, I endorse this course for sure, and recommend it for those people who are soul led, and people who are feeling a call within them that there's something more. They don't necessarily know what it is, but they just are feeling that call. That I know that through their work with you, that they would get more clarity on that, and that movement, that traction, that that there's a word.
Momentum.
It's not even that. It's that bringing to life, that birthing of what's there within them. And it might be somebody that's just starting out, a new entrepreneur, or it could be somebody else, but it's that birthing that's within them. And maybe it's that first one, or it's the next level, but there's something there that's ready to come forward. That yeah, this is such a beautiful space because you hold and create this space for them, but you keep drawing them back to them. You keep pointing them back to what's there for you. What is this for you? You keep empowering people. and and so for those people who are maybe just starting off on their intuitive journey of, okay, is this my intuition, and how do I know, and how does it show up, what do I do with it, from that place of their intuition, for people who are are intuitively in tuned, and just kind of, okay, here's the next piece. So it's not, I would say that at every level, and it's those people who are really ready to, people that are coachable, because you very much, Sasha, as I said earlier, you don't sugarcoat things, you don't beat around the bush, you just are this laser focus, and you you zero in on and hold the space for people to feel into that, to see it, so they can say, yes, that's it, and to find it and live from their truth of that.
Mm, beautiful. And so, in terms of the entrepreneur end of it, what do you think might be going on in that entrepreneur's life and or business, in addition to all that you've said, where this course would be the breakthrough?
Mhm. Mm. The role that it plays in bringing your intuition into the business itself, and personal life, and oftentimes the personal life and the business are very intricately connected and woven together. And so for those people who are maybe that sense of, I don't know where to go. I'm not, I don't really have the clarity, or I don't even know how to build a business. That it's by taking them into the soul of their business, taking them into what's there. So it's not just always this thought thing, but to intuitively, what's the next step? What's the next step? So it's really um, elevating their experience of what business is and what their business is, and to again help it to become uniquely their expression without trying to fit into the cookie cutter things or somebody else's model, but what is their piece. And yeah, so that, I think that's a big part of it. So there might be the sense that somehow life maybe isn't working, or there's just sense that, no, there's something more, but I just don't know what it is. That working at it intuitively will help to create that clarity and help that movement and direction.
Beautiful. Very true. Very true. Well, Lorna, my darling, that's it for this interview. I thank you for your time, and anyone who wants to contact you now has your website and has your email address. And I'm just very grateful that Spirit set it up that we rendezvous back up again.
I'm very glad to, Sasha. Yeah, thank you. And
Thank you.
you bet.
Bye bye, sweetie.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.